The sharp clack of heels on pavement hit like a fuse igniting as I wheeled my daughter, Sophie, onto our new driveway. I knew that sound. Linda Carver, HOA president and self-crowned dictator of our cul-de-sac, charging toward us like I'd defaced her manicured lawn. James Carter, she barked, clutching a clipboard like a shield. That wheelchair ramp's an eyesore. Bylaws, page 14, subsection C. I wiped my hands on my jeans, keeping my voice steady. Linda, I checked those bylaws. Nothing bans accessibility ramps on private property. She scoffed, lips curling. I wrote those rules, James. Don't lecture me. Then you missed a spot, I said, stepping closer, because my lawyer confirmed there's no restriction. Her eyes flashed, but she doubled down. You've got 24 hours to remove it, or we'll dismantle it and fine you $500. I laughed coldly. You can't fine me for a non-existent rule. Try touching my property, and you'll face my lawyer and the sheriff. Her face twitched. I've run this neighborhood for 15 years. You can't outsmart me. Watch me, I said, pulling out my phone. I'm recording this, and it's already backed up. She hissed. You wouldn't dare. Already did. I shot back, with highlighted bylaws inside. She stormed off, muttering about an emergency HOA meeting. By morning, an orange violation, immediate removal sticker was plastered on Sophie's ramp. I peeled it off, pocketed it, and called the sheriff. Linda had just sparked a war she'd regret. When I first moved Sophie into this quiet cul-de-sac, I thought it was a haven. Smooth pavement, neat hedges, silence like a blanket, perfect for her recovery after the accident that stole her legs and muted her voice. At 12, she deserved peace, a chance to feel like a kid again. But the neighbors' smiles were too tight, their waves mechanical. A man in a polo shirt nodded stiffly. A woman watering her garden tracked us in her window's reflection. Then there was Linda, blonde bob razor sharp, blazer starched, clipboard welded to her chest. She stood on her lawn that first day, snapping a photo of our car before we'd even unpacked. I should have turned back then, but Sophie's smile, her first real one in months, kept me rooted. That night, a welcome packet was taped to our door, an HOA handbook, aesthetic rules, and a sticky note from LW demanding trash bin color compliance by Friday. My gut tightened, the old SWAT instinct stirring, but I stayed calm for Sophie. I didn't sleep, watching the street from the shadows, feeling it watch back. By day 3, Linda was prowling. I was watering the shrubs when I caught her in my truck's mirror, clipboard out, lips pinched. Good morning, I said, not looking up. She ignored me, eyeing Sophie's ramp, clicking her pen. Exterior modifications need board approval, even temporary ones. That ramp looks permanent. It's aluminum, bolted, removable in minutes, I said sharply. She scribbled anyway. That afternoon, a letter was under our mat. Ramp pending review. Flower pots non-compliant, section 4B. The pots were gray, matching the house. Sophie noticed, whispering, "Why does she watch us?" I forced a smile. She's just bored, honey. Some people control others to feel alive. But inside, I was seething. 2 nights later, I caught Linda across the street, filming Sophie. I stormed out. Don't point that at my daughter. She lowered her phone, smirking. Just documenting in case your situation's disruptive. I stared, my past life training SWAT to neutralize threat screaming. This wasn't a bomb, but it was a war, suburban and venomous. Sophie sat on the porch, threading purple ribbons through star-shaped lights for my birthday. Her legs, still under a blanket, didn't move, but her focus was serene. For me, I asked, holding coffee. She grinned. Just for one day. My chest ached. Those cheap lights were her universe. I let her work, glancing out every few seconds. Then Linda's heels clacked, her voice slicing through. Those lights violate Section 3 on vivid decorations without approval. I stepped between them. They're for my birthday, Linda. She's 12. One rule broken, then chaos, she hissed. That's how neighborhoods fall. You're falling apart, I said, voice low. That twitch in your eye, your voice shake, injury, not protecting anything. You're poisoning it. She stepped back, hand trembling. Don't push me. I've handled worse. Her eyes weren't just angry, they were obsessed. War was coming. Sophie wanted to finish the lights before sunset. I was in the kitchen, slicing apples, glancing at her, my heart easing. Then a scream shattered the quiet. Linda's voice, rabid. Take those down now. I dropped the knife, sprinting out. Linda stormed up the walkway, finger jabbing at Sophie, frozen mid-tape. Back off, I warned. She's not breaking any rules. She's violating 3A. Linda shrieked. I warned you. They're birthday lights. I thundered. You're harassing a child. She's not special. Linda spat. Her wheelchair doesn't give her a pass. My blood boiled. Say that again. Her eyes were wild, unhinged. You think her victim act scares me? I've seen fakers. Time slowed as she reached into her purse. I shouted, lunged, but 2 shots cracked muffled, deafening. Sophie gasped, hands clutching her stomach, blood blooming across her shirt. She slumped against the railing, ribbons falling, lights tangling. No. I dropped beside her, catching her head, pressing the wound, blood warm and endless. Stay with me, Sophie. Linda stood frozen, gun shaking, chest heaving. You shot my daughter. I roared. She startled me, she stammered. She was waving something. She was decorating. My vision blurred with rage. Neighbors emerged, phones up, sirens wailing faintly. I stood, Linda's gun still in her hand, and every SWAT instinct roared back. She hadn't just shot Safish, declared war on the wrong father. I don't recall standing. One moment, Sophie's blood coated my hands. The next, I towered over Linda, her gun dangling like she couldn't believe she'd fired. Don't move, she quavered, backing up. Too late, I growled, snatching the gun and tossing it to the sidewalk. It clanged. She yelped. I didn't mean to. You aimed. You fired twice, I said, voice lethal. You're done. She turned to flee. I grabbed her arm, slammed her against the gate, and zip-tied her wrists to the bars with military cuffs from my belt. You're hurting me, she cried. You shot a child, I said. Scream louder. See who saves you. She thrashed. This is assault. If I wanted to hurt you, you'd be in the dirt, I said, pulling my SWAT ID from my wallet. You didn't shoot just anyone's kid. I train men to end threats like you. Her eyes widened. I ripped her gold HOA necklace off, snapping it. Your authority's revoked. Sophie groaned, pulling me back. Stay awake, sweetheart, I called. Sirens roared closer. I raised my hands as police arrived. Weapons there, I said, pointing. Shooters secured. Victims critical. An officer stared. Who are you? Her father, I said, voice steel. Paramedics swarmed Sophie, gloved hands working fast. She's 12, shot twice, abdomen, I said, my voice breaking. A medic touched my shoulder. We've got her. Linda, cuffed to the gate, sobbed. I was defending myself. She moved too fast. She was decorating. An officer snapped. She's disabled. Linda's voice cracked. They don't belong here. He threatened me. I'm SWAT, I said, flashing my ID. She shot my unarmed daughter over purple lights. Linda lunged, cuffs yanking her back. You're the coward, I said. A tyrant who thought rules made you God. I held up her broken necklace. This was your crown. I snapped it again, dropping it at her feet. Your kingdom's done. At the hospital, a detective met me, taking my folder of Linda's letters and footage. She's been targeting Sophie since we moved in, I said. This was no accident. He nodded. This buries her. Waiting for Sophie, I paced, haunted by her blood, the ribbons, her fall. The surgeon emerged. She's stable. We stopped the bleeding. She'll need months, but she'll make it. Relief hit like a wave. At the precinct, the officer said, your footage is viral. HOA tyrant shoots disabled girl, people are livid. Linda was held without bail, charged with aggravated assault, hate crimes, and harassment. Her defense claimed mental distress, but the video's 6 angles from neighbors showed her firing unprovoked. Days later, the letters stopped. Silence replaced Linda's threats. Neighbors spoke out, exposing her years of terror, fines for mulch colors, threats over wind chimes, falsified board votes. The HOA board collapsed, members resigning in shame or fear. At an emergency meeting, a neighbor admitted, we failed you. We thought ignoring her kept peace. Another offered cookies for Sophie, a small gesture. The news blared. HOA board resigns after shooting scandal. Sophie came home 6 weeks later. The ramp stayed, defiant. She insisted on finishing the purple lights, her hands shaky but resolute. We sat under their glow, watching the sky turn gold. I still see your face, she whispered. Me too, I said. Why do people hate what's different? She asked. Because it makes them feel powerless, I replied. But we're still here, she said. We are, I agreed. At trial, the courtroom overflowed. I testified, holding the broken necklace. This was her weapon, not leadership. Linda's defense faltered. Intent wasn't the issue, her hatred was. Guilty on all counts, she got 20 years, no parole, for Sophie and every soul she'd crushed. The new HOA board apologized, revised bylaws, and prioritized accessibility. Sophie smirked at their letter. Took them long enough. Better late than never, I said. Under the purple lights, she said. She tried to take everything. She couldn't kill hope, I replied. This wasn't just a story, it was a warning. Silence isn't peace. Compliance isn't kindness. Sophie survived, reclaimed her space, and so can you. Faced a tyrant like Linda? Share below your story might spark courage in someone else.